Growing up in Durham as a talented athlete with a noted Duke pediatrician for a father, a young Angus McBryde was exposed early on to some of the pioneers of Duke orthopedic medicine, giants like Leonard Goldner and Lennox Baker.
Dr. Goldner would, for instance, spray a little ethyl chloride on me for my sports injuries, which of course did no good, but it got me well, so I became interested in sports medicine. And Dr. Lennox Baker, who was the chairman of the Duke Orthopedic Department, I used to follow him around as a 9, 10-year-old at Wallace Wade Stadium. I'd follow him even into the latrine just because he was taking care of Duke, and he was a sports doc, and he was a charismatic character.
There was never any doubt that Angus McBryde Jr. would become a doctor.
I never thought about anything else.
Combining his love for sports and medicine, Dr. McBryde established himself as a highly sought-after orthopedic surgeon with an international reputation for his work with ankle and foot running injuries. He chaired the departments of orthopedic surgery at 2 universities and directed the Ankle and Foot Fellowship Program at the American Sports Medicine Institute, and was chosen as lead physician for the U.S. national team during both the Seoul and Atlanta Summer Olympics.
People like Angus. He's a happy guy, he's very positive, he's very enthusiastic, and also intelligent, but very modest about everything.
As a lifetime fitness enthusiast, Dr. McBryde's go-to sport has always been running. He held numerous records at the private Episcopal High School in Alexandria, Virginia, and at Davidson College, where he earned an undergraduate degree and was captain of the track and field team. Also while at Episcopal High School, Dr. McBryde had a particularly noteworthy roommate.
His roommate was Senator John McCain, and so they remained good friends, and I think Senator McCain had an influence on Angus because Angus has always been very interested in government and policy issues.
It was an experience. He is a tough guy. During his election time in 2000, I saw him a great deal, introduced him a few times in Charleston, and he didn't quite make it to the end there and didn't make it in 2008, but he did his best.
At Davidson, he was the Southern Conference mile champion in 1958. His best ever mile time was a blistering 4 minutes and 15 seconds, which he ran just 4 years after Roger Bannister made history by breaking the 4-minute barrier in the mile.
It's only 15 seconds.
Dr. McBryde earned his medical degree from Duke in 1963, where he was senior class president and the national vice president of the Student American Medical Association. He was close with founding medical school dean Wilbert C. Davidson, who had recruited his father to Duke from Johns Hopkins in 1931.
Dr. Davidson, who I had known, of course, because I grew up with him, as the father figure. Big, towering guy, smoking a pipe, but loved by all.
After Duke, Dr. McBryde performed a 2-year general surgery internship and residency at the University of Pennsylvania, where he was voted the best intern. He then spent 2 years in the U.S. Navy as a medical officer aboard the USS St. Paul during the Vietnam War.
But I spent most of my time in a helicopter, so whenever they needed an assistant in the operating room, either in Da Nang or on the Bonhomme Richard or the Kitty Hawk, they just called me and the helicopter would come over and I'd fly to there, wherever that was, and help them out.
He completed his surgical residency at Duke from 1967 to 71 and served as a Duke Clinical Assistant Professor of Orthopedics until 1991, continuing to specialize on the ankle.
The ankle is the most injured joint in sports medicine. Plus, it's a major weight-bearing joint. The foot has a lot of implications related to other than sports medicine.
He gained international attention with a pair of surgical procedures that became standard practice. He pioneered the use of endoscopy to correct injuries to the attachment of the Achilles tendon to the heel.
And the other one was a bone graft of the sesamoid, which allowed the bone to be kept, which is an important bone to keep if it can be kept.
His skill as a surgeon and his pleasant and effective leadership style made him the ideal candidate to lead the departments of orthopedic surgery at the University of South Alabama from 1991 to 1996, and Medical University of South Carolina from 1996 to 2000. Of particular pride to Dr. McBryde is being co-founder of the Southern Orthopedic Association in 1984, which today is one of the most respected regional medical organizations in the country. His awards and honors are many, for being inducted into the Davidson College Sports Hall of Fame and being named the Alabama Sports Medicine Person of the Year, to being named the 2012 Distinguished Southern Orthopedist. And this Distinguished Alumnus Award is particularly significant because in 1974, his father was honored by the Medical Alumni Association as a Distinguished Alumnus of the Medical Center. Dr. McBryde and his wife Kay have a blended family of 4 children each and 19 grandchildren, all spread throughout the eastern United States. He's run 30 marathons in his life and hundreds of road races, and shows no signs of slowing down with his dedication to fitness.
I can vouch for this because when I find a loose tennis shoe or a pair of running shorts or a jock strap in my car at home, I know it belonged to Angus because he's kind of forgetful too.